Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Delmond Newton. Delmond Newton is the founder and CEO of Groopview, the first of its kind B2B technology company that provides customer social engagement platforms that are easily integrated into any streaming platform that renders video, linear or on demand. With over 20 years of experience, Newton is a serial entrepreneur who founded or funded over 6 companies in various industry sectors. Newton's background is rooted in finance and marketing, an expertise that he brings to others as a business advisor and to his own entrepreneurial endeavors. In his role, Newton lays out and executes the Groopview strategy and vision, and also oversees all new product features and platform expansion for Groopview. Well, good afternoon, Delmond. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Brian. How are you doing?
Awesome. This is great, Delmond. Another great guest on our show today, Delmond Newton. And Delmond, again, we're a technology publication, but I really want to dive in and hear your story because this is where our audience like to hear somebody new every single day. So jumping into these questions, Delmond, you've got quite the career as a serial entrepreneur, and now you're the founder, chairman, and CEO of Groopview. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
Yeah, so absolutely. So, I think the key secret to my career growth really stemmed around from persistence, right? Where just staying, when you become an entrepreneur and you decide to kind of make that leap, which I did and from corporate America into the entrepreneurial world, used to be a banker. And I decided to be an entrepreneur. The first thing you have to do is just be committed to understand that, audibles could happen. Anything could go. There's no handbook to really how to do it. And as long as you stay persistent and innovate your way through, you'll be successful, and everyone has their different level of success on how they measure success. My measure has been as long as I can create a career or a life and feed myself with what I'm doing and have fun doing it, then that's success, for me. And it's just really, I would aim it on persistence and knowing how to stay committed and knowing how to pivot, right? That's to me the secret to the success there. As it relates to Groopview and what inspired me to do it, roughly about 3.5 years ago, I came up with Groopview. I was actually babysitting my nieces, and they were on an app now, which is defunct now, called House Party. And they were on this app trying to group chat and trying to watch content at the same time. And I said, hey, if I could find a way where they could watch the same frame, see the same thing at the same time, fully synchronized, no matter what device they're on or what their network connection is, this would be a really cool platform. And that happened around 3.5 years ago, pre-pandemic. Sketched it down on the back of a napkin, talked to some of my top engineers and said, this is my vision. This is what I want to do. This is the focus. And I want it to be 5G enabled and all different types of things I mentioned to them. And we went at it and started building it and created a very cool minimal value product, and that's how Groopview was created, about 2018.
That's awesome. I think that's, it's kind of a cliche almost. People say your idea was jotted down on a napkin, but it's so true, isn't it?
Right.
But that's awesome. And I can't wait to hear more about this, of course, Delmond, but I want to talk a little bit about that pandemic. You'd mentioned that. So now that the pandemic has started to lift, what's your plans for business growth going forward? And will it be any different than during the lockdown?
Yeah, the uniqueness of our platform, we are a platform as a service. So we're a B2B company where we create social engagement and interaction platforms and products for other companies. So we enable other companies to really enhance their social engagement. So, our strategy has always been pre-pandemic, to grow the company. So we had a plan in place on how we were growing. What the pandemic did for us was just shine a spotlight, on our technology of, hey, this is a way of communicating, right? This is a way you now can, even when you're home or if you're locked down, you now can communicate this way too. What I mention to people all the time is, certain Gen Z and certain millennial demographics were already communicating virtually, and what the pandemic did for everyone is said everyone could do it, right? And it really shined a light on other demographics that weren't communicating virtually. So our strategy for growth, even post-pandemic, is we have various platforms that we offer that will allow us to expand. So, for an example, like in real estate, in the esports and gaming market, in media and telecommunications, where we're able to offer platforms that give our customers and clients an option to be able to go business as usual, what it once was, or to have a more streamlined virtual part of their business that can add more, real estate show listings or more time spent on platform. So the pandemic to me just heightened, our growth, and it will heighten it afterwards too, because now it just opened the door up for a way of communicating.
That's awesome. Again, this pandemic has shown us a lot, right? As far as innovating and really, in some ways, reinventing the wheel, which I think has really accelerated the growth and the transformation in business as we know today. So thank you for sharing that. And so Delmond, talking about technology, right? You're obviously leveraging some new and emerging technologies within your tech stack or your business. Is there something you might be able to share with us today?
Yeah, I think we actually, our business operates in a cloud, and some of the key technologies that we leverage by even third-party companies, such as some telcos and telecommunications companies, et cetera, are, 5G, is one key, the fifth industrial revolution is one key technology that we're leveraging, as well. The coming 10G, Wi-Fi 6, all things that kind of offer, lower latency and faster network speeds and greater capacity. These are things that we're leveraging with our tech to really make an offering that's robust. Internally within our products, as mentioned, we have 3 key products that we offer, such as Synchronized, where a user can actually get into a private room with their closest friends and watch together, a movie virtually. We have our mini view feature where you can take that session and broadcast that out to millions of people that can watch and learn from you. We're leveraging that in gaming. And then we have our dual view sharing, which is a technology very unique where dual view sharing we figured out how to make the front camera and the back camera work on certain mobile devices, where now a real estate agent can actually show a property without needing all stakeholders to be there at the same time, so they can walk through our property and film that property and invite in the buyers that can video chat with them and see what they're filming on their front camera while also communicating with them on their selfie camera, right? So these, our engineers are hard at work, building out our tech stack to be able to leverage these different technologies, for our growth. So we're really excited, on 3 ways we're approaching the market.
Awesome. And we do live in this period of, as they say, I guess this fourth industrial revolution, right? In a sense, and its technology has really accelerated again, like we mentioned during the pandemic. But this is great that you're sharing some of that with us and our audience. Yeah. So Delmond, last question here. Can you share something from your career experience that would be helpful for those looking to grow their career in tech or entrepreneurship? Yeah,
I think, the hardest lesson learned from my career experience is that, and this is really a blunt face-to-face talk to an entrepreneur. If I was sitting here talking to one that was just getting in, understand that sometime you're going to run out of money, right? And when you're becoming an entrepreneur and you're building your business, you run out of money and you keep raising capital. And I think, one of the things that I've learned the hard way is build something first before you rush out to raise a ton of money from either venture capital or whatever. Build something that is of value for different investors to have something to sink their teeth into, right? I think what most people do is they create an idea and then they rush out and say, now I need to go raise money, a lot of money, right? To me, that's not the case. Try your hardest to get at least a minimum value product of what you built or what you're doing enough to now go to an investor and say, I have traction, right? And because that traction is going to give you leverage to negotiate the best possible deals financially for them to help you grow your business financially, right? So, and then the last part is, the lesson learned from experience is know when to pivot, because the industries, especially what I'm doing in technology, and I'm sure it is the case in multiple industries, your industry is always changing, and technology now is applicable to all industries. So all industries and the way that they operate are changing rapidly. So you might have an idea going in, day one, but know how to pivot that idea day 2, 3, 4, or 5. Because if you don't know how to pivot, you're going to get caught flat-footed and then game over, right? So that would be the advice that I give, entrepreneurs that are, coming into the business.
Awesome. Delmond, I appreciate that. And I think you're absolutely right, is you have to have a game plan.
Yep.
So that you can be ready for those times where you do need to pivot. So thank you for sharing that. And Delmond, I just want to let you know it was a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Brian, really appreciate it. Great podcast you have, and I'm happy to be invited. Thank you very much.
Bye for now.